A él sí se le caen los pantalones, pero a Steve no se caen los pantalones. You notice here that we have pantalones is a plural noun, so we need a plural verb here. So we're going to use the ellos form here for the verb caerse. And because it's an accident, we're going to have se here. And then who do they fall from? They fall from him, so we're going to use le, the indirect object. Se le caen los pantalones. No se le caen los pantalones. So the rule with the se, it depends on what function it has. There's the se pasivo, which is the passive voice, and it's kind of like saying instead of I eat cake, you're saying cake is eaten. So you don't care about who the subject is. If we don't care about who the subject is, we're going to use se. So let's take this example here, for example, where we have se habla español. Here we have the verb that is conjugated. We have español, which is a singular noun. And then because we don't care about the subject, we have se. Here we have pisas, which is plural. So this is a plural noun. And we're going to use then the ellos form of the verb. So it's comen. So this verb agrees with this noun. If you have a plural noun, you need a plural verb. If you have a singular noun, then you need a singular verb. So here we have la gente come flan de caramelo. We don't care about the people eating the flan. We just want to say that flan is eaten. So now we are just going to put the se here because we don't care about the subject. And we want to say that flan is eaten. So we're going to use the se, step 1. Step 2, we're going to have the verb. And this verb is going to agree with the noun. We have a singular noun here. So if we have the noun, I have in pink, and then I have in yellow the verb. So I'll just show those to you then. So se come, you can hardly see that, se come, and then I'm going to have se come flan. So if you notice from this sentence here, we have the se come flan. It is singular, se come. I'm going to rewrite that there, se come flan. Here we have la gente hace la tarea. The people do the homework. We don't care about the subject here, and we want to say that homework is done. So we're going to say se, and we're going to use the verb. It's the singular thing, so it's se hace la tarea. And now you'll notice that this is going to be singular and that's singular. Okay, so we have la gente preparan pasteles. But here you'll notice that you have, this is going to be plural because pasteles is plural. So because the verb agrees with the noun, we're going to use se, and then we're going to use the verb, and then we're going to use the thing, and that's all going to agree. Pasteles, se preparan pasteles. Okay, so let's look at some examples here when you have an accident. So one thing to notice about in Spanish, here's a typo, is it's not your fault. The accident just happened to you. So that means that we are going to have the se because it's kind of the thing, you are the victim of something. So we have, when it's an accident, you're going to use se, and then it happens to me, whatever happened. So here we have, se me cayó el libro, So the book fell on me. And because it's an accident, we include the se. Here we have the books fell, and because this is going to be plural right here, libros, then we need we also need our verb to be, wrong color. We also need our verb to be plural. So it's going to agree with the noun. The verb is going to agree with the noun. And who does it happen to? It happens to me. Okay, so here we have, So here we have the indirect objects, and we remember what those are. The indirect objects answer the question, to whom or for whom. So it's the receiver of the action or the receiver of the thing. And you can also think of the indirect object as the victim of the accident when you're using the se, right? So the victim is the me, and the se is to remind you that it's an accident. So for example, here where we have se me cayeron, right? So it's the to me they fell, right? So you always have to whom the action is done, or who's the victim basically of whatever of this accident. So here's some examples. For example, we're going to say a tree fell on me. So if we have this sentence, a tree fell on me, then we're going to need to know that a tree is going to be the what? It is going to be the thing, right? So it's going to be noun. So we're going to, let's just call that for right now the noun, okay? So that's going to be noun, and that's a singular now. Fell on, or fell, we're going to just call that the verb, and we have the verbs listed in yellow there. So that's going to be fell. And then who did it fall on? That's the indirect object. So on me, so we know that when we're talking about me there, then we're going to use me. It fell on me, it fell on you, it fell on him or her, it fell on us, it fell on you guys, vosotros in Spain, and it fell on them, les, right? But we're going to say it fell on me, so we're going to use me. So if I make that, green. Sorry. Okay, so if I make that green, then that is going to be that, those are the different parts of that sentence. And now I want to put it in a sentence, so I'm going to start with the se, and then I'm going to use the indirect object, that's the me. And it fell on, that's going to be cayó, our verb cayó. And then a tree, we're going to say un árbol. So here we have se me cayó un árbol. Here, in this instance, we have the car. So if we're using the car, that's going to be the thing. So the car broke down, that's going to be romper, and that's going to be our verb. So we're going to say that as romper. And it broke down on whom? It broke down on them. They are the victims. So which one of these are going to be the victims? Them is going to be the les, right? Them is going to be les because him or her, or him or her is going to be le, but here we have les, so it's going to be on them. So that is going to be our green. So if we put this in a sentence now, we're going to write se to start with. We're going to use the indirect object, which is going to be les. We're going to use the verb, which is going to be rompió. That's the past tense, right? The preterite of the verb romper. And we have the car. So se les rompió, and we're going to say el carro. Se les rompió el carro. And you can use this as rompió. There's other verbs, se averió. There's other words, but right now, since we know the romper from our chapter, then we'll use that word. Here we have your shoes fell off you. Again, your shoes is the thing, right? So shoes. Fell is going to be the verb. So we're going to say caer. And then off you, that is going to be the indirect object. And off you, that's going to make that te here, right? So we're going to need the te. So if we put this in a sentence now, it's going to be, if I want to say your shoes fell off you, then I'm going to say, start with the say. And I'm going to use off you, that's going to be te. And shoes, is this singular or a plural word? This is a plural noun. So if we know that our order is our verb, but our verb has to match with the noun, then we're going to use the plural here, se cayeron, se te cayeron, and then we're going to put los zapatos. So notice that we are going to have to match these. So if that's plural, then we're going to have to use the plural form of this verb, the ellos form. I'm not going to read all of this. This is, I'll give you access to this PowerPoint so that you can read through this. But I do want you to notice a couple things here. So we have the these different, let's change my color. So we have se me olvidó poner. Notice in this case, we don't have the actual noun here. We have la alarma, but the next thing that we have, sorry, is poner. So poner is a it's an infinitive verb. When you have two verbs, the first verb is conjugated, the second one is not. So here you'll notice that I'm using the singular form, and that's because you have a verb. No matter you have one verb or two verbs, it's always going to be the singular, the verb, and the first verb is going to be singular form. It's going to be in the él or ella form. Here we have el coche, right, is the thing. So if I were putting that in the different colors, actually, I would actually put that in pink because this is the thing, right? So el coche is singular, so you have a singular verb here. Here we have a singular thing, so a singular verb. Singular thing, singular verb. Again, singular thing, singular verb. And it happens to me, so I'm going to use the me, right? It's an accident, but it's happening to me, so I'm going to use the me. Here in this question, I'm saying to him or to her. So I say a Margarita, so it means to her. So to her, it remained, right? To her, it broke. Okay? So make sure that you have your indirect object. It's going to go siempre se plus your indirect object plus your verb that's conjugated, and this verb agrees with your noun. And the noun is not always necessary, though. In this case, for example, there's no noun there. Here's just an example that we would have done in class, and this is, can you think of a conversation where someone talks about the things that happened to them, the accidents that occurred, the things that they forgot, the things that broke? So here we have La Presidenta, Jackie, saying, se me olvidaron las llaves. Las llaves son keys. So she's saying, the keys were forgotten to me, basically. I forgot my keys. But remember, it's not her fault that she forgot her keys. She didn't purposely leave them. It's that the keys were forgotten, to her in Spanish. And what about Professor Pancratz? Can you think of something that happened to him? Maybe his camera broke on him, God forbid, and he says, se me rompió la cámara. So here we have la cámara is an singular noun, and so our verb agrees with that singular noun. What about Paco? If we're looking at vocabulary from this chapter, what did he forget? What was forgotten to him? So we could say, for example, a Paco se le olvidó or let's say ir. Se le olvidó ir a la farmacia. Or we can say here with this receta, right? This is a receta, which is a prescription. We could say se le olvidó la receta, because he forgot it, right? And you're saying it was forgotten to him. He is the victim, right? So if we think of the indirect object here, he is the victim. Say le. He is the victim of the forgetfulness. But it's not necessarily he didn't do it on purpose, right? So when it's an accident, something you forget, it's se le olvidó. Alrighty. Oops.